Now, I have to draw some conclusions, and the conclusions can only be reflected from what I can see. I am not privy to the information that has been given by the Commissioner of Police to the Home Minister. I am not privy to the information the Home Minister has communicated to the Prime Minister. But what is patently obvious is that the police officers in charge, which is the Commissioner of Police and the DCP of the special cell, they have felt confident that it is not a safety risk for the Home Minister to visit the site within 2 hours of an explosion taking place. If there was a concern of a safety risk which can happen, because in the past, when terror attacks have taken place in Delhi, there have always been serial blasts. It's never been just one. 2005, 2008, all serial blasts. So, there is one indication coming in that the police are reasonably confident that the immediate site is sanitized, that there is no risk to the investigating agencies, and in fact to the life and limb of the Home Minister himself, who is walking in a place where a massive explosion has resulted in fatalities. Now, what you are seeing on the left side of your screen, ladies and gentlemen, is indeed the remnants of a cylinder. That is a cylinder that has not exploded. So, please be cautioned that there were auto rickshaws and other cars there who would also have had potentially CNG in them, the auto rickshaws for show. So, the remnants of that cylinder is not the cause of the explosion, because that cylinder, while it might be charred, is intact. So, let us open this up. Joyita is still with us, Sumit Peer joining us on the broadcast, Mr. Meena is there, and General Dwivedi is still with us. Mr. Meena, let me come back to you. In order for the Commissioner of Police to visit the safety of the investigation teams and to clear a visit from the Home Minister, obviously the Commissioner of Police is feeling confident at this point of time that the immediate vicinity at least is sanitized and it's safe for the people working there and for the Home Minister to visit. Meena ji.
In fact, before visiting any dignitary, the area is sanitized. Now a lot of time has passed. Police might have checked each and every place surrounding, then only they can clear, yes, it is any dignitary can visit, any official authority can visit that place. So they must have sanitized whole area, not only that particular place, whole area security they might have ensured. Then only our Home Minister, Honorable Home Minister can visit. And not only that, a lot of officers have come, energy team have come, everybody is there. So they have already sanitized. That's why there is no threat at present, at particular.
Okay, fingers crossed, because yes, you can see the dog squads that are there. So, like I said, one has to draw the conclusion that the senior officials, after having had about 2 hours, 2.5 hours to analyze the situation, are confident that an existing threat is not existing on the site, both for the teams that are conducting the investigation, but the FSL teams that are coming in, which are more have to conduct a scientific investigation. They are not the first responders, and for them to clear the visit of the Home Minister there, they would have to be very confident. In fact, Mr. Meena, they would have to be exceedingly % confident that if Mr. Amit Shah is being brought to a site where a blast has taken place 2 hours ago, that there is no further risk. It would be more than, literally % confident. There can be no mistake in this case.
Yes, it is ensured by police that they have to make proper area security, place security. They must have checked everywhere. They must have put barricades, all places. They might have checked. They must have, like dog squad has come, AST, anti-sabotage check must have been conducted everywhere. Then only Honorable Home Minister has visited, and
Okay.
they might have given green signal. There's no threat to Honorable Home Minister, and then he's visiting that place.
Okay, so let me put that thought to General Dwivedi. General Dwivedi, less than 3 hours later, the Home Minister is on the site. Now, of course, he is available nearby, but the last thing you would want is to bring your Commissioner of Police and all your top officers, including none other than the Home Minister, onto a site where you are suspecting that further activity might take place. So, it seems that the Commissioner of Police is pretty confident by the investigation that has happened, the prima facie chemical analysis, whatever, that they feel that the site is secure.
Yes, absolutely, Rishabh, because in such cases, there is a zero error. That means it is 100% secure, and that's why they have, allowed the Home Minister to come on the spot. Even the senior police officers are there. So that means that one definite take is that it has absolutely sanitized, and there's no fear of any kind of a danger. Point number one. The second point is that I think they must have zeroed on to the, broadly as to what the exact blast have been. Well, further analysis will give out, but I think the preliminary investigation point out that this could be just a standalone blast, may not be high explosive, but the point is that when we are joining the dots, it's obvious that there is no danger in this area have been sanitized, and they will put the information together, because it's not only information coming from the blast site, there are a lot of electronic intelligence is there, the other agencies are working, so they will be able to kind of get the overall picture. And I think prima facie it appears that this could be a standalone blast. There's no further danger around, and that's why they have allowed the Home
Okay,
Minister
twist in the tail. Twist in the tail. Joyita, if I don't want to be in the shoes right now in a horrible situation, because people have died. Whatever has happened, one way or the other, something nasty has taken place. But to sign off a waiver for the Home Minister to come and visit a place where an explosion has taken place, a mysterious, causes unknown explosion has taken place less than 2 hours ago, and invite him and the Commissioner of Police and other senior people to the same place, means that somebody is taking their neck out, that the place is absolutely safe.
Yeah, they would have had to sanitize the place. And for that, I was just reading on X that, one TV channel's reporter was touching the car that exploded and was showing. I mean,
that's not a smart move now, yeah.
So the whole thing is that then I hope the sanitization and the cordoning of the area is also foolproof. Well, of course, when you are taking the Home Minister of the country to that area, to that blast site, inside, I think, less than 2 hours or something of the incident, let's hope that they have been able to sanitize the place. You have to sanitize the place. And why are they even allowing reporters to come anywhere near the?
I can tell you that. Well, I can tell you that entire place has now been the yellow line barricaded. So we are nowhere near the incident. We haven't been, other than the eyewitnesses who have recorded most of the visuals. But if indeed what you're saying, that if somebody has gone in and jumped literally to the car for the sake of recording a video, that's not a pleasant thing to do. I have some information to share with you, and this is important information because it pertains to this Hyundai i20 car. Now, the initial information that is being given to me, that the Delhi police has sent a squad to coordinate with the Haryana police. This is specifically Gurugram, which is right across the border. They have identified the car is registered to Nadeem Khan. This Nadeem Khan, we are being told, has been taken into custody for questioning. Our sources are telling us that in the questioning he is indicated that he sold the car 1.5 years ago to an individual residing in the Okhla area of Delhi. This is the latest information that is coming on. I have sad information to share as well. The LNJP hospital has released a list of the dead and injured, at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dead bodies are yet to be identified. And you can imagine some of the bodies are not in a position to be identified other than through DNA analysis. But the number of casualties is now at 28. So 28 casualties, of which there are 8 confirmed dead, 20 who are injured. And as I mentioned, the fatalities of the people who are dead are yet to be identified. One fatality has been identified as an individual from Amroha in UP who has lost his life. I'm not naming the individual because the police will obviously have to inform the family first. But of the 8 dead, only one body has been identified. Generally, somebody would be carrying a wallet or some papers identification on them. You always have a debit card or an Aadhaar card or something. The fact that nothing can be recovered to identify them readily is indicating the nature of the blast that has happened. But as I mentioned, we are torn here, and I'm sure the investigators are also torn on what happens, because on one side we have the Home Minister on location, which means that the location is sanitized and safe. That's not an easy conclusion to draw in a place where there is a metro line, there is drains, there are dustbins, malba, cars on the road that are in a charred condition. To sign off on that is not an easy thing to do. Well, here we are. Let me get Sumit in. Sumit, so there is an information vacuum for sure, and we are being advised, and I'm taking the advice seriously, not to leap to a conclusion. The Home Minister has spoken out not once but twice within the scope of an hour. He's on the spot, and I can't help but underline it. I'm sorry to say, but the stupidest thing to do for the Delhi police would be to say that let's take senior leaders like the Home Minister on the spot if we are not absolutely sure what has happened. So that won't be a smart thing to do. So there is some, at least, confidence in the senior police of Delhi that this particular area is sanitized. There's no threat to the life and liberty of anybody over there. Sumit.
Rishabh ji, heartfelt condolences to the people who lost their life, and it's a very tragic event. And looking at what has happened, it doesn't look to be quite normal, because Mr. Shah is very clear saying that सब विकल्प खुले हैं, हर एंगल से इन्वेस्टिगेशन होगी. So he is not ruling out anything. It doesn't look to be a typical incident or accident, because if you have NSG, if you have FSL, if you have Delhi Police or Delhi Police Special Cell, and your people and teams coming from all over India, and then you have alert in Delhi and you have alert in Mumbai. And Amit Shah ji visiting the hospital, visiting the site, and giving 2 interviews or 2 statements in a matter of hour or so, it means there's something much to the gravity of the situation. And we are looking at it today. We have got 2,900 kilos of explosives. We have got a couple of AKs with the doctors. We have got a Dr. Shaheen in Lucknow holding a AK-47. Then we have this ISIS-K module in Gujarat. They were making ricin, which can kill lakhs of people practically. So when we join all the things together in this incident, in fact, I may be completely wrong, because if I look at the latest, some of the terror attacks which happened in Pakistan and all, Rishabh ji, what usually happens, they get a car. You have 4 people in that. Just before the incident, 3 get up, the car is rammed into a particular convoy or anything, and other 3 start firing. I hope it was not something like that which was planned, because if it was even a Fedayeen attack and all, you will have 1 person in the car.
Okay, so the I-20 car owner, Sumit, is alive. The person whose car was registered to is being identified as a resident of Gurugram by the name of Nadeen Khan. He is currently under custody and being interrogated. And we have been told he claims that he sold the car. Now, the car is still registered in his name. He says he sold it or gave it to someone in the Okhla area of Delhi. But the car was, the legalities of this are obvious, that if you sold the car into Delhi, the car number would have to change. You have to get it registered in Delhi and you would have to get the registration changed. But yes, cars can be sold without registration details changed. It would be highly unusual that if I bought the car and paid monies to someone, but I did not get the registration of the car changed, it would be highly unusual. So it is more likely that he's given the car to someone
Absolutely.
and not sold the car to someone. So Nadeem Khan is currently under interrogation. It is indeed an I-20. There's nothing left of the I-20 except for the wheel caps. Everything's gone. Okay. Trying to open up this conversation, trying to just get in perspective as many as we can. General Dwivedi, we are trying to absorb information, so it's still fluid. Can't really say what is going on. Shortly, we'll know is what the Home Minister has said on whether what kind of explosion this is. So I'm sure the chemical analysis tests have already been done, sir. We are 3 hours later. So they've been on the spot for 2.5 hours plus. So they've done it. Either they are inconclusive or they are trying to be cautious about releasing the results to the public.
That's true. I think I would put both the things. First and foremost, I think they have a fair amount of idea as to what exactly was the cause of the blast. And apparently, it appears that it is standalone because after all, the Home Minister is there, the senior police officials were there, and secondly, they may be skeptical to release the information because it may have certain amount of confidentiality and security angle. So, to my mind, I think the higher ups are reasonably clear as to what the blast was, and they may be wanting to confirm because you can't come to a conclusion based on the preliminary investigation or the preliminary evidence. I'm sure they'll have to go into detail, but two things are very clear. I think there is certain degree of assurance that what exactly blast was, and secondly, the information can be only shared in the public domain once there's 100% certainty.
Yeah, within reason, but like I said, I'm having to and I understand why the vacuum of information exists. It is our job here to keep the public informed, because if you are assuming that people in Delhi are not watching or keeping an eye out for the news for what has taken place after 12 people have died in Chandni Chowk, well, they are. So that's why the Home Minister, of course, has made 2 public statements within 1 hour, because he knows people will be deeply concerned about what has taken place. So a blast has happened. It has killed at least 8 people. It has left 20 others injured. Of the 8, only 1 body has been identified. The 7 bodies are not been identified yet. I can tell you at least a few of them are probably not in a position to be identified yet. The Home Minister has gone to the hospital. He's gone to the site. Now, like I said, in the absence of accurate information, and my definition of accurate information is a statement that has been put out by an official either at the hospital or at the police or from the MHA. The IB and NIA are not the bodies that would be making statements in this position, nor the NSG, nor the FSL. So you heard from none other than the Home Minister, and that's the final word. It's an I-20 car. There was an explosion. 8 are dead. All angles of investigation are open. That's where it stands. A further meeting has been called tomorrow morning. The conclusion that is reasonable to draw is that the Commissioner of Police and the DCP of the special cell are confident that the area is sanitized, that there is no clear and present existing danger to have allowed the Home Minister to visit the site, because otherwise that would be a foolhardy move. If you cannot rule out all possibilities and then invite a very senior dignitary of government, none other than the Home Minister, on the site and potentially put him in a risky situation, I don't think they would have done that. So they would have been very confident of their assessment, at least in the nature that the local site was sanitized. Now, where does that take us? Well, we don't know. Right now, we are expecting at some point of time. Now, the visuals you're watching on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, we're showing you a small clip here just for a reference of context, because it is relevant to what is going on. So, this is one of the local reporters who is on camera, the camera is facing the other way from where the blast has taken place. And I think this is only useful if we can hear it. So, if you can put out this 10-second clip and hear it, then you will get a sentiment of what has happened. Let's play it. Okay, now what is patently obvious, okay, now I'm going to ask you to pause this visual at the first frame, okay, pause it here, okay. Now what is patently obvious, the human reaction time is about 0.3 seconds, okay. So even though these people are a few hundred meters away, okay, that they are not in immediate risk, you can clearly see the hair of both the individuals has been hit by the shock wave. So it's a blast wave which is propagating through the air. It is propagating to the air at the speed of sound, and you can see that from the point they hear the sound to the simultaneous blast wave that ruffles their hair, that's the worst of what they saw, and then the instinctive reaction to look towards the direction of the blast, unsure of what has happened, and then to see people running away. Now watch this clip again with audio.
Hey, Mohan. Hey, Mohan. Hey, Mohan. Hey, Mohan.
Okay, so now let's pause it at the first frame again. Okay, now there you have it, right? So you can see both the local journalist and the person he's interviewing there, both of them wince, and then they obviously 0.3 seconds is the time it takes to register what has happened and turn in that direction. Okay, and then of course the cameraman also spins around. Thankfully there was no stampede, that the people have dispersed, because if there had been a stampede, you would have had more fatalities, more injuries. So people have dispersed in good order. Sometimes a shock can cause a delayed reaction, which in this case has been to the benefit of those who were within a few hundred meters radius. Okay, now that's what you can see. Now I want you to hear the explosion for a second. So let's hear it. Let's play it from the beginning and let's hear the explosion.
Hey, Mohan.
And again, let's repeat.
Hey, Mohan. Hey, Mohan.
1, 2, 3. So you are seeing an explosion which is the intensity of a blast, and then you can hear the almost tectonic rumble that lasts for at least about 2.5 seconds. It's a rumble that has happened. Listen to this again. So watch out for the rumble after the explosion.
Hey, Mohan. Hey, Mohan.
You know, the closest, I don't know, General Dwivedi, if you've been able to hear that. I know you can't see it, but the closest, you know, it reminds me of is an artillery shell being fired. There's an immediate shock wave, which is very sharp, and then there's that rumble for almost a couple of seconds. It's almost a tectonic, earthy rumble, you know, of a low frequency sound that is taking place. And I mean, this is a distance of 100 or 200 meters away, sir.
Yeah, that's true, because when you some blast is there, one is the immediate sound, and then there is like rumbling and the impact on the one is the explosion per se, whatever the explosion is, and secondly the impact it has either on the car or whatever is around it. So therefore you heard the two very distinct sound. One is the sound of the blast, and secondly is the impact it has on the car or what are the environment. That's exactly the two sounds that we are trying to interpret. And this is something like the artillery shell also. There is the immediate sound, and then there is a follow up. So I think you have played it out as clearly as possible that there was the initial blast, and after that the blast there was the impact on the car, and the rumbling sound was about 2 seconds or 2.5 seconds. That was the sympathetic detonation, means initial and the sympathetic detonation. That's how the two sounds one can actually correlate.
Okay, so,
Rishabh.
so listen to this again. Okay, then let me rope subin. Listen to this again from the beginning.
Hey, Mohan.
ये न्यूज़ बनाओ ना, नाल का धमाका वाला बनाओ बनाओ तुम दोनों
Hey, Mohan.
ये न्यूज़ बनाओ ना, नाल का धमाका वाला बनाओ तुम दोनों
Okay, now I want you to now just stop the frame when there's a man raising his hand, okay? And right here, stop. My PCR team will eventually clue in to what I'm saying once they can understand me. So have a look at this guy. There's a man walking in this direction, okay, who then raises his fists in the air. Watch this. Okay, so 2 seconds after explosion, so you can clearly see that there's an individual in the black shirt towards the left of your screen. There's a lady in a black top and jeans who is walking faster. She looks concerned. She's not panicking, but she's walking away faster. This man in the black shirt has a pretty serious expression on his face. He's walking away. There's another man in a fawn shirt towards the center of your screen with a crew cut. He's carrying a backpack. Between on his left, as we see the screen, there's a man in the blue shirt looking over his shoulder to see what has happened. There's another man on the right side of his screen in an orange shirt who's also looking over to see what has happened. Then there's this individual wearing a black sweater and grey pants who is lifting his fists in the air. Now, I don't know whether he is in shock, denial, thought this was some kind of firecracker that had gone off. Let's just watch this again 1 second, please.
ये न्यूज़ बनाओ ना, नाल का धमाका वाला बनाओ तुम दोनों
Hey, Mohan.
ये न्यूज़ बनाओ ना, नाल का धमाका वाला बनाओ तुम दोनों
Hey, Mohan.
ये न्यूज़ बनाओ ना, नाल का धमाका वाला बनाओ तुम दोनों
Okay, so distressing situations can cause strange psychological reactions. I am not an expert with a thesis on this, but there can be strange psychological reactions that you would pump your fists in the air for some reason, okay, but it probably merits investigation for sure. Might be complete innocent pass. The man behind him in the yellow shirt with the brown jacket, is smiling. Now, like I said, psychological reactions, it might be just from relief that nothing has happened to him. Anything can be the case. Very difficult to judge the psychosis of individuals when you are just witness something that is instantaneous and you are not sure what it is. Okay, your spinal cord is having to switch back to the cognitive centers of your brain from the immediate gut reaction, to thinking about what has happened and how serious it is. It would be, you would have a flight or flight reflex over here. As you can tell, many of them, the flight reflexes kicked in and they are at least jogging away, which in this case would be the right move, to walk away as fast as possible. You don't want to run because you might trip and fall and cause a stampede. Sumit, we are stuck now because obviously we are in limbo of information and can't really confirm exactly what has happened, but more angularities are coming our way. that there have been some arrests, there have been some detentions, but not sure what is taking place. But clearly, you've heard, I'm sure by now, this visual. This is the first time we've heard the explosion. That was pretty intense.
Rishabh, I mean, if you look at the sequence of things, if it was an accident, a typical accident, a CNG cylinder blasting, why will you arrest the owner and why will you issue the red alerts? Why does Amit Shah ji need to issue 2 statements? And what you rightly pointed, the Rumble. First time I went, years back for this 26th January parade. That's when I heard a real artillery gun going and I heard the rumble which comes after some a few seconds. Now, if rumble is there, that means there's some kind of explosion and there's some kind of a sizable explosion. And if you look at the impact radius, I don't think, in my personal opinion, it can be a CNG cylinder or it can be something which is normal. Look at the activity of the government. I think government is being careful. They are trying to analyze all the situations. Likelihood, if it is an attack, which it looks to me at least, at my personal level, you have to look at Pakistan and you have to what has happened in last 2 days, the seizures we have done, the people who have arrested. So, that's why they might be kind of very carefully contemplating and calibrating the situation.
Okay, so now there's a theory going around, Sumit. It's not an unreasonable theory. Okay, but for the sake of our viewers, I have to be responsible. It's just a theory. Now, this is being discussed not in the media, not amongst my colleagues. This is being discussed in the investigative agencies themselves. So, which is why I feel confident enough to at least share it with our viewers. Now, the arrests that were made in Faridabad.
Yeah.
Okay. So, needless to say that the 2 people involved in it, these Dr. Muzammil and Dr. Adil, they are currently being interrogated on this blast that has taken place at the Red Fort. Okay. Now, a working formula is being investigated that if indeed this is a terror attack, and it looks like it is. Okay. It might not be, but it does look like it is. That a few hours ago, literally hours ago, the 2 guys who are the concoctors, who are making the explosives or storing the explosives or probably responsible for converting the explosives into IEDs, they weren't sitting on 400 kilograms of ammonium nitrate because they wanted to become farmers. They were wanting to blow things up. Okay. So, the working assessment, Sumit, is not unreasonable to say that all right, the guys who were the bomb manufacturers were nabbed, and a different set of people, when they heard that these 2 people have been caught, that quickly they said, okay, what have we got at hand and what can we do quickly and where do we go? And as a response to the arrest, where they would have been planning out a serial blast, where there was a whole mechanism which is probably in operation to plan out serial attacks, after the main nodule was busted and their main go down was basically taken out, that they've managed to throw something together. It won't be unreasonable as a working hypothesis, Sumit.
Absolutely right, Rishabh. This is what I have been also pointing out, because when all your modules are busted, you see, I will try to kill as many people as I can kill before they kill me or before they get me. Look, they tried to stop the car detonated or something detonated within the car. Again, my gut feel is they were trying to hit a convoy. They're all from Prime Minister, Home Minister, Raksha Mantri, everybody in Delhi, and everybody lives around Akbar Road and all. So maybe they had something bigger in their mind. They were trying to reach there before police stopped them. They said, if we let it go for another couple of minutes, it's all over. Let's detonate now. So that could be one of the reasons. And because by this time, the information was it's all gone. Rice plot, there's 2,900 kilos of explosives. Dr. Shaheen, Muzammil, Adil, these all doctors are gone. Their AKs are gone. Their Berettas are gone. Their cartridges have been found. The plan is moreover busted. We know who are the people behind it. It's Pakistan. So now this group who still had something in their hand, let's try to do whatever we. It's like going all chips in. This is what I have. Let me try to go all chips in and see what I best bet can get achieved. So that is what the idea has been. Why should it detonate a slow-moving car at a police barricade? Because they knew if they are caught by the police, then nothing will happen. So they decided to go for the kill then. It's quite reasonable to have that hypothesis, knowing what is happening, looking at the reaction.
But it is a hypothesis. Okay, it's not an insane hypothesis, because few hours ago, literally a bust is made in Faridabad. This is about 30 kilometers, 35 kilometers from the location of the attack. Okay, it's not in Delhi, but not too far away from Delhi either. So 30-40 kilometers from the location of the attack, a bust is made, an unseemly amount of ammonium nitrate is recovered. There's only one reason that ammonium nitrate is stored with a Dr. Muzammil. Either he is a farmer, which in this case he was not, or Dr. Adil, or he's up to no good, which is to blow things up. And it seemed that they were up to no good. Now we're expecting the Delhi Chief Minister to be arriving at the LNJP hospital. The President of India has also expressed her condolences. There's a high alert everywhere, north, east, west of the country, railway stations, airports, markets, you name it, Lucknow to Ayodhya to Jammu. There's a high alert everywhere. Teams from all these places have been sent out. So not unreasonable to say that potentially after the news of the bust reached, okay, that it's a quick satellite phone call to some handler somewhere also, Sumit, and that person has said कि तुम्हारे पास क्या है तो ये है. And I mean, this is all speculation. I'm underlining that for our viewers, but not unreasonable to suggest that either.
It's quite how terrorists operate, Rishabhji, because that is what they have left. Let's go for the kill. Let's see whatever we have got, because game is over. You know, whatever your bigger dreams were, they can't be achieved. But whatever smaller impact you can do, go and do it. I mean, usually they have these modules which are broken into individual modules, and that module somebody will be called. By the way, this Dr. Adil was in touch with Pakistani handlers, and 15 days before this on Newsx, we talked about one more module of ISI which got busted. There was a guy called Danish heading it. He was a chartered accountant. Again, he had people in 5 states. Again, similar modus operandi. When Adil was in touch with Pakistani handlers, so obviously the news was out. Everything is gone. So these guys were told by theek hai, whatever you have tried to do, whatever maximum damage you can do.
Yes, because when you try to bust a terror net, okay, you are hoping that in one fell swoop you take all of them. Okay, so sometimes you're monitoring the guys who are doing this for several days. Okay, so that you can find out who are the agents who are coming, going, other people they are calling, connecting with, so that you want in one raid or a simultaneous set of raids to nab all of them. Now, if you are the few individuals who have escaped the initial crackdown, okay, because you have not been found out, then what's the judgment call you're taking? Either you are taking a judgment call to run and go into hiding, okay, which is all right, the game's up, let's disperse, catch the next train out of here and go as far away as possible and go back into sleeper cell mode and come back after a few months and see what happens. Or you go for broke. Now, there are two suppositions being made here. General Dwivedi and General Sudhakar are with us. And the supposition can be made that if indeed that's the case, and yet it is speculative, but 3 hours later, I mean, I'm not digesting CNG blast. Okay, so something major has taken place. So either these people were emerging from the area or nearabouts with a target aimed somewhere else, and a detonation has happened en route or perforce has taken place or been made to take place en route, or they have planted this with a remote detonation, or this was the target. Now, the timing and the location, if you were to ask me, I'm not an expert, but if you were to ask me, 7:30 p.m. outside a metro station in Red Fort, Chandni Chowk, okay, that would for me be the target. I don't think that they were en route somewhere else and they happened to blow it up, but it could be either. So, General Dwivedi, I mean, it is speculative, we don't know. It is reasonable to say that the police are asking the guys they busted yesterday that they found the owner of the car. The owner of the car says, no, obviously they always say, I don't know, somebody took my car. You know, that the whales are closing in. It is suspicious. It would not be unseemly that if this is the working theory, that they busted these guys in Faridabad and the one nodule who was in touch with them knew that the game was over. There are two options, either to go into hiding, which is run away, or to do whatever they could with whatever they had at hand. I mean, not unreasonable. Both are theories that are worth investigating.
Yeah, Rishabh. I think firstly we need to understand a little as to how these cells work. One is the mother cell, and after that there are number of small subsidiary cells. And many times these cells may not be knowing each other because to ensure the confidentiality. In this case, what happens is that these operators also have plan A, plan B, and they can see that in case the plan A is not working out, then the plan B can be executed. So both this conjecturing, I think, are logical. One is that they had a pre-planned in the area of that fort, knowing that it is a crowded area, 7:30 is a crowded time, people are returning. That could be actually a pre-designated target. A second could be that they may have been heading for the bigger target to the metro station, and they found that the opportunity is not there, so they carried on a in situ blast. Now, what I wish to figure out is that the cells sometimes are difficult to crack. You may be able to crack one cell, but then the subsidiary ones may not be actually in the same trap. It takes time. And secondly, is the modus operandi of these operators. They go for the designated target. In case they cannot, then they go for the subsidiary or a plan B or plan C. Rishabh.